Alright guys, so today we're reviewing a topic from 6th grade, comparing and ordering integers. This is going to help you when eventually we got to compare and order decimals, fractions, percents, other rational numbers. So first off, let's start off with what an integer is again. An integer is the whole numbers with 0 and the negative whole numbers. So the whole numbers and their opposites. Okay. So let's do an example when it comes to actually ordering them. So let's say we have this example. Order the numbers from least to greatest. So first off, I want to say a lot of times instead of least to greatest, you're going to hear a vocab word. It's called ascending. Ascending order instead of a least to greatest. Think about an airplane or a bird, right? They start off on the ground, which is their lowest point, their least point. And then as they're going up, that's ascending. They go up into the sky, their highest point. Okay, so the numbers we're actually going to order here: -4, +3, 0, -1, -2. So we got to put these order from smallest to biggest, from least to greatest. Okay, and how you easily do that is you use a number line. So go ahead and put out a number line. Now, what numbers go on the number line is really up to you. However, you need to make sure that it goes far enough in each direction that we hit all of these integers. So if I start from 0, I go 1, 2, 3. Technically, I don't have to go any further because 3 is right there. So I can start going in the left direction. -1, -2, -3, -4. And I don't really have to go any further. I could keep going, -5, -6, and I could keep going on this side, 4, 5, 6, whatever. I just need to make sure it encompasses all these numbers here. Okay, now what we do is we put a point, which is just represented by a dot, on each of the numbers. So take -4 for example. I put a point on -4. Now I go to 3. Put a point on -3. Now I go to 0. Put a point on 0. -1. Put a point. And -2. Put a point. And remember, for a number line, the further left you go, the more negative the number, the less that it is. And then obviously to the right, as the numbers get bigger, the bigger the number is. So when it comes to least to greatest or ascending order, you basically figure out, okay, which number that I put a point on is the furthest to the left. Well, in this case, it's -4. So -4 is our smallest number. It's our least number. Okay, second least or second lowest number is -2. Because it's the second furthest left. Now -2 is more than -4, but it's less than all of these. So next would be -1. Okay, just going left to right basically. Next is 0. And last is 3. So I have taken these integers and put the points on the number line. Then since it was least to greatest, I went from the leftmost to the rightmost and wrote them all out. So this is my final answer. These are all the integers written from least to greatest. Okay, got 2 more examples. I'm going to try not to make this video too long. Okay, so number 2. Order the numbers from greatest to least. Hopefully I have room there. From greatest to least. Now this vocab word for greatest to least is called descending. Once again, think about a plane or a bird. When it's flying high in the sky, it's at its top point. As it comes down to land, it's descending through the air, right? Okay, so here are our numbers. -3, 9, 0, -7, and +1. Once again, I need to make a number line. Now I'm going to have to make this number line really, really long. Because I got to make sure that I encompass all of these numbers. So let's say, I'm just going to start from -7 because I already know that -7 is the smallest number. But if you don't know that, you start from 0 and you go out in both directions until you've hit all the numbers. -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, and 0. Now I gotta keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I've encompassed all these numbers in my number line. So now I go through, just like we did before, put points on them. So point for -3, since that's one of my numbers. Point for +9, since that's one of my numbers. A point on 0. A point on -7. And a point on 1. Alright, so now that I've labeled all of my numbers with points on the graph, on the number line, now I'm going from greatest to least. So I can't go from left to right because these are our smallest numbers over here. So I got to start with our biggest numbers and put our biggest number first. So I got to start with 9 because 9 is my largest number. Then my second largest number is +1. Third largest number is 0. Fourth is -3. And our smallest number is -7. And now the numbers have been put in descending order, greatest to least. Okay, so I got one more example. Come on, camera, work with me. Okay, try it here. Okay, so this next one, you're actually going to see something like this on your quiz, just as a heads up. So we're going to order the numbers again. From least to greatest. Once again, that is ascending order. Now, instead of me just giving you the numbers like I did on the previous 2 pages, there's going to be a couple more steps. You're not always just going to be handed the number. Sometimes you're going to be given problems like this. Square root of 9. Absolute value of -2. -6. 0. Negative absolute value of 4. And the square root of 144. So what we need to do in order to put these in order from least to greatest is we have to turn them all into integers, or we have to simplify all of the ones that need to be simplified here. So we actually have to do the operation. Like we actually have to take the square root of +9. Which remember, square root just means find me a whole number that when multiplied by itself, it gives you the number on the inside. It gives you 9. Well, the number that does that when multiplied by itself gives you 9, is 3. So the square root of 9 is equal to 3. Now for a reminder, absolute value means how far away from 0 a number is. So negative 2 is 2 spots away from 0. So the absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. And yes, the shortcut is it just turns a negative number positive. Now, negative 6 and 0, they're already simplified. They're already integers. Now this is a tricky one. So we got the negative absolute value of 4. Remember, absolute values can only affect what's inside of them. So these absolute values can only affect that 4, not that negative, because it's not on the inside. So we have to take the absolute value of 4, which 4 is 4 units away from 0. So we just bring that down and it's 4. However, we haven't done anything with this negative. It has to follow along the 4. So this negative absolute value 4 is actually negative 4. Okay, so now we have the square root of 144. It's just like the square root of 9, it's just we need to find a number when multiplied by itself gives you 144. If you don't have that memorized, well then you got to start multiplying some whole numbers by themselves until you get to 144. So if you do that, you're going to find that the correct answer to the square root of 144 is positive 12, because 12 times 12 equals 144. Okay, so all that work that we just did was just to get our numbers. We haven't even started ordering them yet. So I'm going to need a big long number line again. I'm going to start from, you know what, I'm going to start from negative 6, just so I know I have plenty of room. Negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So now I've encompassed all my numbers here in my number line. So I take my numbers, my integers, 3, put a point, 2, put a point, negative 6, put a point, 0, put a point, negative 4, put a point, and 12, put a point. Okay, once again, we're going from least to greatest. We're going in ascending order. So we start with our smallest number, which is negative 6. It's the leftmost. And then we go left to right. Negative 4 is my second smallest number. 0 is my third smallest. Next I have 2, then 3, and then 12 is my largest number. So just a reminder, got to make sure everything's in integer form. Everything has been simplified before you can even order it.